3, 2, 1. Push. Oh my God, that's cold.
Wow.
Wow is right, Ryan. Wow is right. Welcome back to You Betcha Radio podcast. I'm Miles, the You Betcha guy. We are the coldest podcast in all of the Midwest. We got a great one coming for you. We're going to talk a little March Madness. We're going to ask Ryan how Canada was. We're going to try and at least shed a little light in a not so awesome situation of the flooding that's going on in the Midwest. So sit back, drink a Busch Latte, and we'll get into the show. Here at You Betcha, we know that life is way too short to hold your own drink, and that's why we have the Bev Buckle. Now, the Bev Buckle is a belt buckle that is the world's first retractable drink holder. And I tell you what, this thing holds your Busch Lattes like a charm. They are handmade here in the U.S., and these guys were also on Shark Tank. So they are the perfect gift for someone who loves to drink Busch Lattes, but, just doesn't want to be bothered with the fact of holding the Busch Latte. You can find these guys on their social media at BevBuckle or on their website, bevbuckle.com. That's BevBuckle.com. And if you want 15% off of your order, use promo code YouBetcha with no space. That's YOUBETCHA. You Betcha. Promo code 50% off at bevbuckle.com. And I hope that you guys love your Busch Latte holder. I want to talk to you guys about U Motors Motorsports and Marine, located in Fargo, North Dakota and Pelican Lake, Minnesota. They have all of the best brands: Honda, Yamaha, Ski-Doo, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, Nautique boats, Super boats, Supreme boats, all of the boats, and even Avalon pontoons. If you mention this ad, you can get 20% off parts and accessories, and obviously some exclusions may apply, but you can get 20% off parts and accessories. You can check them out on Facebook, Instagram, but also at their website, umotorsinc.com. Again, that's umotorsinc.com.
I would venture to say it's almost the nectar of the gods. Back, baby, back. I want my Busch. Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back to episode 11 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. I am Ryan, the T-shirt guy, and I think you should go follow us on social media. Go check us out at OUBetcha. That's at OHH You Betcha on our main page. We also have a lot of other micro content pages going on right now. Ryan, the T-shirt guy, at Ryan, the T-shirt guy. Myself, I have my own page. Moms.hotdish is probably one of the next up on the list under You Betcha as like one of the more content filled pages. We're putting out user submissions, things that you guys send us. It's just a place where all of that lives. And then the Ranch Wrangler. We've been super consistent with the Ranch Wrangler. Miles did a couple out in California. Had a lot
we
of
got
fun
another
with it.
one coming from Cali. It's
In-N-Out.
Yeah, In-N-Out. So
Yeah, that was almost on my top 3 of fast food chain restaurants.
Yep.
So I saw the teaser photo. I wasn't too happy about it, but we'll see how it goes. And lastly, guys, at Ranch Wrangler, go follow at Ranch Wrangler. So
I'm going to start off the bat and say the reason why, if you're listening, one, Ryan and I are both wearing the same color sweatshirt on Total Accident. We're both got like military green sweatshirts on. It's because today is a battle. I got my hood up.
Yep.
Because it's exactly how I feel today.
Post-vacation syndrome.
Well,
Post-St. Patty's Day syndrome.
Yeah, I drank way too much on St. Patrick's Day. It's going to probably be one of those 2, 3, 4 day hangovers. But I'm here and I'm podcasting.
Did they have green beer?
I never even got a green beer.
Okay, because that was
I was
topic
drinking Busch Lattes out of the pounder cans. Busch burp already. And so it wasn't, I never got like a green beer now.
Sure.
But that leads us into, Ryan, how was your St. Patrick's Day weekend? You were up in Canada.
Yeah, I was up.
Tell us about it.
I was up in the Great White North. I was actually on the ice most of the day Saturday. I escaped the Midwest storm, which was absolutely brutal on Thursday. Interstates were closed down. I couldn't get up there until Friday morning, but I did a little ice fishing. and I was chasing some Manitoba greenbacks, is what they like to call them up there in the north.
How'd it go?
It went okay. Fishing was slow. We pulled up some good eaters. Got our fix of fish in for supper, and I didn't get that master. So up in Canada, Lake Winnipeg is known for its big walleyes. It's great.
Well, they're known for maple syrup.
That, yeah. And secondly, they're walleyes, right? So the goal going up there for everybody fishing on Lake Winnipeg is to catch a master angler walleye, which is 28 inches or above, right? So my goal going up was to catch a 28 plus inch walleye. I didn't do that, but
What'd you get?
man, my biggest is probably 18. We couldn't get into the big ones.
This has made me. Why don't you do like a hunting and fishing
I probably should.
thing for You Betcha?
I'm in the game, man.
So you go fishing obviously quite a bit.
Mhm.
How much hunting do you do?
Usually like 3 weekends a month in the fall.
But is it for deer? You know,
Everything.
do you go pheasant hunting? Do you go duck hunting?
Yeah, waterfall for like the first 3 weekends, and then upland game opens, so I can go pheasant hunting. So I'll go pheasant hunting for probably like 4 or 5 weeks straight, and then I'll go into deer hunting, and I'll get back into pheasant hunting. Duck hunting for me is pretty short lived because I'm a big pheasant hunter.
Yep.
So I do a lot of pheasant hunting, and then I mix in deer hunting in there, and yeah, I'm kind of all over the map.
Do you ever go turkey hunting?
I got a tag when I was younger, and we went out one day out of the whole season. We just drove around. Didn't see a whole lot. I would have liked to shoot one, but I think I want to shoot one with my bow one day instead of a shotgun, which would be, it's just kind of like the chase, you know?
Yeah, because it's like people are always asking me for hunting content and fishing content, and I'm like, one, I don't fish that much at all.
Yeah.
I just never really got into it, but I do like hunting, but I don't go very often.
Yeah.
And so I thought it felt pretty unauthentic for me to try and do some hunting and fishing content or a podcast or something.
Yep.
And so people have been asking about it left and right. And so I don't know why it never occurred to me until now that.
Yeah. I might need to make like a Ryan the T-shirt guy / You Betcha like orange vest for this next year.
There you go.
I wonder if I could make like a You Betcha blue vest, because it has to be high visibility, which is why everyone goes with like hunter orange, like blaze orange.
Well, doesn't it have to be orange or not?
No, I think it just has to be high visibility. So you could do like
could wear a
highlighter
neon
green.
yellow.
Yeah, something like that. But that's just not as cool. It's like you see guys out in the field that are wearing orange, you're like, they're getting after it right now.
Yeah.
So the Manitoba greenbacks were slow. But I'm definitely going to go next year. I got to get that master angler.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you say how big a fish you caught? What was the biggest one you
18
caught?
inches. 18 was the biggest I caught. A lot in like the 15 to 18 range. But that's fun too, man. Like pulling those up, throwing them in the bucket, eating them at night.
Like I said, I'm used to fishing off the dock with hot dogs, Ryan. So
Hey, that works too, man. Like no shame in that at all.
I mean, it
because
doesn't catch 18 inches, but
no, but it's going to catch some nice slab sunnies that you can
sunnies.
Oh yeah, slabbers.
God, you even got the lingo down. We might have to discuss.
We're gonna have to get some content. I'll have
Do
to
you
bring.
have a buddy in mind that would want to be your co-host on a podcast?
I do actually, yeah.
I knew that he would.
Yeah,
I absolutely
yeah.
knew
It
he
came
would.
right to top of mind. I do. Yeah, that'd be fun. We should even have
Well,
like.
I'm glad that you guys were able to sit in on this You Betcha business meeting here. But what else did you do? Anything else in Canada?
No, we were gonna go to a Jets game. We didn't end up doing that. We were honestly, man, we were like 2 hours to the north of Winnipeg.
Mhm.
So we were kind of up in the sticks, but we were staying probably 30 minutes away from a casino, and I just had to like tear myself away from that because
You guys never went to the casino?
we didn't know.
What's your go-to at the casino?
blackjack? 100%.
I see. I'm not a big gambler.
Mm-hmm.
So I like virtual blackjack a lot
Sure.
because there's just way less risk
Yep.
involved. Also moves a lot faster
Yep.
because I'm not real. I don't like the methodicalness of some like poker and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, virtual poker or virtual blackjack really is up my alley because it's like, and you don't have to be betting like 10, 15, 20 bucks
Yeah.
a hand.
Yep.
Because I just, for whatever reason, I just the gambling is just like stresses me out.
Dude, it's thrilling. It's like I get an adrenaline rush from it. And that's the addicting side of it. Now, I'm not addicted to gambling. I'll play blackjack maybe once a month.
Yeah, when you're out at a bar or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not going to just like ditch my friends to just go sit at the
I
blackjack
do
table
have
by
friends
myself.
like that do that. That's the worst.
Yeah, and that's not me. And I'm more of like I'll throw $40 down, and if I can play for an hour and lose $40, then that's fine because it's good entertainment for the night for me.
Mm-hmm.
I normally end up talking to someone at the blackjack table, kind of just like making small talk conversation. But yeah, I didn't make it to the casino. We literally went 2 hours north of Winnipeg, fished our asses off, and then came back yesterday.
You guys drink a little while you were there?
Yeah, a little bit, but not on the lake because Lake Winnipeg's actually a dry lake.
Mm.
They have quite a bit of control up there.
They police it pretty well.
Yeah. The game wardens are out pretty heavily, especially with that many fishermen. And when you're fishing outside too, it's a lot easier just to pull up to someone and like ask them questions.
Yeah.
So we didn't drink on the lake, but we had a few beers when we got back
There
at
you
the Airbnb. And
So back to the gambling. Do you gamble on March Madness, which leads into our first segment of the day is March Madness.
I do, yeah. And people are gonna hate me for this. I'm a big Duke fan, so I double down on Duke every year. Like,
so there. Well, we'll save that for the next segment. But
not saying they're gonna win it all,
right?
But I'll put double on Duke every year.
There you go. So what we'll do is we'll take a little break and then we'll start talking March Madness. We'll grill Ryan on why he's such a Duke fan. We're in the middle of March, Ryan, and I think we all know what that means, that March Madness is about to be in full swing. This podcast will come out on Wednesday, and I believe the tournament starts, the playing games are that night. Tonight. And then the next day, the tournament starts. And so we're going to talk a little bit of March Madness. I love this time of year. I think that it's like, it's one of those things where like once March Madness hits, snow starts melting, spring's hitting, and you're kind of like getting out of that like winter depression type of thing. And I think that there's just something special about college basketball. Now, before we like dive into like this tournament, my favorite moment of the whole tournament, and I hope they never do away with this, is at the very end, the one shining moment montage they do.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
It's the best. I don't know if I think there's actually like a podcast for college, I keep saying football, college basketball that's called like One Shining Podcast or whatever, named off of the song. But every single time I almost want to just tear up.
I was going to say it's tear jerking.
It's like, it's hard to describe. It's just so electric every time.
Yeah. March Madness is so sweet, but you can only watch so many games like as one person, and to kind of just see all that compiled into one.
Yeah.
It's tear jerking.
So I'm very much looking forward to the one shining moment. And so I hope that the podcast after that happens, I hope that I say that it's just as electric as every other year before. And
it will be. I think that's just how the world works in big time situations like this. These kids, they're not getting paid. They have a championship to play for, right? So,
well, the best is when a team that has a bunch of seniors makes it super far.
Yep.
Because they're like actually putting some blood, sweat, and tears into it. Where you got teams like Kentucky and they're just one and doneers. Which I don't blame them in any way, shape, or form. But it's just not as much invested in it.
Right.
So I think it's cool when I remember back when Wichita State kind of made it for the first time. They made a run. There was like a bunch of seniors, I think, or people.
The old Ron Baker days.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my guy from Wichita State.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, I mean,
now before we get too deep in this, I want everyone to know.
I want to get deep in it.
Like we are no. Nice one, Ryan. We are in no way, shape, or form experts on March Madness.
No.
I do not sit and crunch numbers. I do not sit and look at seedings and all of where they stand in the power rankings and who's my dark horse there. I don't do much of that. I watched some tournament games this last weekend.
Yep.
Were you about to dive deep in, Ryan?
I was about to, but you
Let's
held
go.
me off.
I'm ready. I just wanted to put that out there that no way, shape, or form we claiming to be experts on this.
No, absolutely not.
We're just guys sitting around drinking beer, talking about
College basketball.
college basketball.
An electric time of the year. There's a lot to look forward to from now until like, let's just say like April 14th, right? Because we know what's coming out April 14th. We won't get into that.
Yeah,
but
don't get me too excited.
Okay, so Game of Thrones coming out April 14th. We were talking about one and doneers, and you look at, I think before this segment, I'm a Duke fan, right? We mentioned that. Zion Williamson gets hurt. People on social media, NBA players, like big time NBA players, are like kind of not really revolting against NCAA basketball, but like why, he should sit out. He's going to be the number one pick. Why risk, a how many $1 million contract that he's going to get, a shoe deal that he's going to get? Why risk that by playing, maybe 10 more games in his college career? And it's like, I don't know. I think even though they are one and doneers, I feel like there's just a lot more to play for. And there just seems to be like so much camaraderie in college basketball.
So what I'll say about that situation is I just thought it was a big overreaction by everyone involved.
Yeah. You saw the shoe though.
The shoe was
crazy.
Now, I know that it's like a freak thing that the shoe busted open.
Right.
Now, but the way the rest of the world thinks is they probably saw a little bit of hit of sales because
they did. Yeah. I think I saw, I can't remember what percentage drop in stock Nike had. Obviously, that's probably made back within a few days, but that's the story for the day on the news.
Well, that's the thing is like everyone overreacted to when they had the Colin Kaepernick commercial. Like, I'm gonna short my Nike stock, or I'm offloading all the shares because they're done. They're done after this. It's like, no,
Nike's not done.
It's just everyone's in the age of social media because they're able to instantly give their reaction. Everything's an overreaction, right?
Yep.
No one, because everyone needs to be the first one to be to something, no one actually like sits back and like, okay, I'm going to think through this logically. How is this actually going to go?
Right.
And so I think that's what a lot of like people did with that. Now, push burp. The NCAA thing, I get it. But they know what they're signing up for.
Right. They have to sign up for it, but they know what they're signing up for.
If more like good players that were actually good went the route of not going to the NCAA and just going and playing overseas for a year until they can get into the NBA.
Yep.
If more people started doing that, I think it would put a lot of pressure on the NCAA to like change something or allow them to actually get some sort of money from the deal.
Right.
So, I mean, like, what if Zion would have like went and played overseas instead of going to Duke?
He could have got hurt. I mean, he could have blew a shoe out overseas. You never know.
I mean, like in terms of the NCAA,
right?
Like, and they start having these really, really good players starting to go and play somewhere else for their year before they can go. Plus, I think they should just let them come out of high school.
Yeah, back in the Kevin Garnett, Dwight Howard, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how it would play out.
Yeah. I mean, so I think that at some point here in the future, something will change, whether it's the NBA saying you can come right out of high school or players starting to go, oh, no, I'm going to do the Lonzo or LaMelo
ball.
and LaGello and LaBello going and playing overseas, LaBelle balls, big baller brand. But yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. So you're a big Duke fan.
Yep. I have been for years, and this isn't a 1-year thing.
That was like when you were younger, you liked
JJ Redick.
I was going to say JJ Redick was the first one that came to my mind.
Yep.
Big JJ Redick guy. At that same time, wasn't it like at UNC was really good at the time too?
Mm-hmm.
And they had Raymond Felton.
Yep.
Sean May.
Yep. Tyler Hansborough was a little bit later in that stint.
I don't really like Tyler Hansborough.
He was just like, I remember one time.
I thought he was a poor man's Tim Tebow playing basketball.
Kind of. Yeah. But one time I think he got an elbow to like the middle of his forehead and he just started bleeding blood down. He was like rubbing it out and like, come
doing
at
a total
me, baby.
like hardo.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We all know one of those guys. We
Yeah.
all know one of those guys, and that was Tyler Hansborough.
Yeah, and it was Tim Tebow in college football.
Right, exactly. So there's this buzz every single year about the 12-5 upset. Now, is there, you had the bracket up, is there any potential 12-5 upsets that you see?
Well, like I said, I don't know like a ton about all these smaller schools. The 12-5 Wisconsin. So I kind of like to focus a little bit on the Midwest teams that are in it. Wisconsin's a 5 seed, so they're playing Oregon. So we'll see how that holds up. Auburn is playing New Mexico State. Marquette is playing Murray State. And Mississippi State is playing Liberty. Liberty. Is that like
I like it.
insurance commercial or whatever? Yeah. But the game that I got my eye on, because it is like some prominent Midwest schools, is the Iowa State-Ohio State game.
Yep.
I think that'll be a good game. I've been watching the Big Ten. I watched the Big Ten tournament. Michigan and Michigan State. The game, the Big Ten championship. That was absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see any of it?
I saw highlights of it on Sports
Literally,
Center.
Michigan didn't score in like the last 2 minutes, and Michigan State went on like a 10-0 run and just
That's
they were
always
losing by 5 with 2 minutes left, and they won by 5.
That's
and
always a good game.
Yeah.
Michigan State in football, in basketball. There's always hype around that. So do they have the opportunity to meet up in the tournament in their respective bracket section?
So Michigan is in the West, and Michigan State is in the East. So they wouldn't be able to meet in the championship. They would be able to meet in the Final Four, though. So
we would maybe have to take a trip to Michigan if that happened.
to actually like go to like a bar in somewhere in Michigan. Yeah, that would be
I'll
sweet.
wear state, you wear university.
Yeah. I wish I had like a team.
Yeah.
But I just like don't. I don't know why I do this.
Do you fill out a bracket?
Yeah, I will.
Will you put money into a pool?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have like this one pool I always enter in, like people have their one squad that they always do it with, but I would say I like to see the Big Ten do well. So I'm excited for that. You got your Iowa, Ohio State, Michigan State.
Minnesota's a 10 seed, I think.
Are they in?
Yep.
They did. They made it in. Where are they? Bad radio. There they are. Yeah, they're playing Louisville.
Yep.
I didn't know they made it in. So the Big Ten
Minnesota's
is represented well. So I like that. We'll see what happens.
What I would like to do is I would like to take the day off from work. And
sit in front of 4 screens.
I have an old coworker who used to do this. Him and like 8 of his buddies would get together, and one of his buddies is from somewhere in North Dakota. One's from somewhere in Minnesota. A couple of them are from Minnesota. One of them's from like Nebraska. But college buddies, they'll all meet up, and they'll switch locations every year of where they meet up.
It's like a traveling thing.
Yeah. So I think this year's in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yep.
And so they're going down to Minneapolis, taking the day off of work on maybe Thursday and Friday, and they'll just go to a bar and watch March Madness and drink beers and eat food.
Well, so
that's hardcore.
My hope by next year this time, we'll still be here.
We'll still be
bunker.
here.
Hopefully we're still here.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to have like 4 big screens on one of the walls in here that I could just sit here and actually do content around March Madness.
Yeah.
So this would be an interesting clip if I'm able to putting this on the record. Maybe next year if we got it going,
4 TVs.
See if we do or we don't.
Yep.
But yeah, we do got to get some TVs in here. We gotta, now that like the dust has settled on my vacation. Now that the dust has settled a little bit on winter,
Ice fishing.
All that. I'm gonna try and focus on making this place cooler.
Yeah.
And by this place to the listeners is the bunker, but I got to get that Bush Bar going.
Yeah, the Busch Bar's got to happen, especially before it starts to get warm out.
Well, now that I'm not able to like leave my beer outside as much anymore, because it's like next week it's supposed to be like in the 40s, and it's slowly gonna get more. Like I got to get a fridge too.
So I posted on @Ryan the T-shirt guy this Instagram story. When I drove up to the bunker, your Busch Light case was sitting on this little tiny patch of snow.
Like one patch of snow that's like the size of the case still sitting out there.
I'm like, we're losing our outdoor refrigerator.
Yeah. So,
But it needs to happen. It's got to happen.
yeah. Well, I've been prospecting fridges and freezers and stuff on like Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. There's been a couple that I passed up on. It was like they had it on there for 70. I only wanted to pay 50, and I had to just walk.
Yeah, they didn't want to negotiate.
We didn't want to negotiate down, but
Yeah, so we went from NCAA to refrigerators on Craigslist.
don't even get any ideas.
We got to bring the
about
peoples of Craigslist.
No, do not. Do not.
All right, maybe next.
Not going there
maybe
yet.
next podcast.
So my pick. So you're gonna pick Duke to win?
Yeah, I got to stick with the boys.
Okay. I am gonna pick. I think Gonzaga's got a really good chance.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. If it's just maybe Michigan's yellow highlighter uniforms. I like the way they look, even though they fell apart in that last 10 seconds of the game. I like their point guard. I think he's sweet. I think his name's Xavier Simpson. I really hope he doesn't play for Michigan State. And I'm just totally butchering this, but
Again, we're not experts.
we're not experts. I would like to see Iowa make a run. I think that would be.
yeah.
I think they've had some kind of like cool games. They've had some cool games where like they've hit some last second threes and stuff like that.
I think it's boring of me to pick Duke to win it all.
Yeah, I'm so annoyed of you right now.
But here's the thing. I'm picking Duke to win it all because that's who I go with every year. Now, do I think Duke is going to win it? I don't.
You don't?
I don't think Duke's going to win
Duke
it.
to win.
I did pick Duke to win, but realistically, that's the fanboy in me. Realistically, I think they're going to get knocked out in the Elite Eight or the Final Four. We'll cut this clip right now.
I don't think they'll make it to the Elite Eight.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that they might make it to I don't think they're going to make it out of the Elite Eight.
Yep. So Elite Eight, Final Four. I hope they win, man.
I don't think they go to the
But see, that's what's fun about college basketball is anything can happen.
So how many
the
brackets
16 team obviously is them beating the 1 seed is.
How many brackets do you usually fill out?
I'll just fill one out.
My brother, he fills out like 25. And he's got his own like numbers crunching thing that he does, and
We should get him on.
Yeah, we should.
Because that sounds like an expert that can correct us on.
What he should do is he should just not even necessarily related to You Betcha, but he should have his own like sports thing going on because he's a
deep in
hard
it.
about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But
I'll do the bracket too of like I think Warren Buffett will give you $1 million if you have a
I
perfect
do mine
bracket.
on ESPN.
Yep.
I
The
do mine on
perfect
ESPN.
bracket.
I just like their like app and their layout of stuff. It's easy to navigate, and
I think there's a theme here. I think there is. We kind of outlined like the type of people in the last couple podcasts, the type of
you
people
want
that
me
you'll
to get
see
some
on St.
types of
Patty's
people
Day.
you see on March Madness.
The type of people on St. Patty's Day, the type of people you see in airports. How about the type of people that fill out an NCAA bracket?
Well, there's my brother.
There's your brother.
Who fills out 25.
Yep.
Super hardo. One of them is usually a all upsets bracket.
Yep.
Type of thing.
One of them is I'm just gonna pick the mascots
Oh,
that
well,
I
yeah,
think is
it's
the
usually
coolest.
a chick.
Yes.
They either go what mascot they think they like better, or whatever color scheme they like better.
And it
So
works
my
for,
mother
like,
is
the first round.
usually. She's going to listen to this and be annoyed that I brought this up. But she is usually if she just knows a person on a team, she'll just pick that team to win.
Yeah.
Like
I get it.
when there was so my name is Miles, obviously. My brother's name is Mason. So when Miles and Mason were the twins on the Duke, right?
Plumleys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Miles
it was-
and Mason Plumlee.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. She just picked the Duke to win because it's Miles and Mason twin,
boys are
whatever.
playing.
Yeah. So there's a person who like someone who only will know Zion and they'll just pick Duke because they know him.
Yep.
I would say another person. It seems to me that the person who wants to win it's like the person who wants to win the least usually ends up winning the bracket pool.
Yeah.
Like my brother it's very rare if he's in a big bracket pool he's gonna win.
Yeah.
But it's like the one chick who's like, this just seemed like a fun thing to do. So I just, I just picked, random numbers, random teams. And I guess I won about $600. Like that's usually it goes.
Yeah.
So I would say that's another person too. That's just like,
Yep.
they don't pick stupid. They like, oh, yeah, I'm going to pick them because I heard that they were decent this year. And
Some at Sports Center one time.
Yeah.
They won a game in their early preseason schedule, whatever.
Yeah. Or like, yeah. So I would say those are some types of people. There's the person who literally will take work off to just watch the games.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say that's another type of person for sure.
And to just piggyback off that, there's the person that will be at work but only watching March Madness on their computer
So they're
screen.
not working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're clocked in.
Another person too is this is someone who doesn't tweet or anything about sports that much. Other than like the tournament, they'll be like, you know what? I'm going to watch the games. I'm going to like live tweet. And so like, there's a bunch of their tweets that are like, just like, wow, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But like, you don't see that tweet until the day later. So you have no idea what they're talking about. Like they think that everyone is watching their tweets live. So they don't give any context of what the tweet is about. So then you don't know what they're just tweeting. Wow.
But then you'll see like 3 or 4 more tweets down the line. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. So then you have to like look into it. You're like, what's going on here?
And they're those people like usually don't tweet about like college basketball ever as well. Like it just for whatever reason they're like, oh,
I'm just gonna throw a tweet out there. What like why March Madness? Why now? Why not?
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah, what I think is the most crazy thing that I think is going to be interesting to see where it goes is like all of the experts on ESPN that just like they just mull over the same thing for hours and hours and they debate the same thing over and over and over again. Like, are people still watching that?
I'm
like,
not.
Because I have listened to a little bit of that like One Shining podcast that I keep talking about now. It seems like I'm a big fanboy, but like I've heard a few of their stuff, but like they actually like talk about different stuff. They don't talk about the same stuff over and over again. They talk about different stuff and they keep it fresh and interesting.
Yeah.
ESPN and all of those networks that are like your classic sports channels, like they just talk about the same stuff over and over and over. Like a great example is when Zion's shoe blew out.
Oh my God.
Is Nike using it was Nike, right? The shoe was Nike. Is Nike using the right stitching in their shoes? What is going on? It's like it's unbelievable.
That's why I hate being at home sick, because you watch one segment of SportsCenter and you're going to hear the same segment an hour later.
Yeah, like the 20 minutes and then it's done. You usually listen to the same thing.
Back in the day when we were in elementary school, whatever, like Netflix wasn't a thing yet. So you maybe watch a movie in the morning and then you turn on SportsCenter.
Yeah, you watch like Space Jam or something.
Yeah.
And then you turn on SportsCenter.
And it's the same thing over. Well, you'd watch Price is Right at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And then you'd watch a movie and then you'd watch SportsCenter for the next 3 hours and probably see the same thing 3 times over. So, it's interesting because Joe Rogan, MMA commentator for the UFC, he does the events that he doesn't go to. He does an MMA show like live on his YouTube channel, and they don't show the fights up on the screen, like him and his guest watching the fights, because it's trademark or copyright, whatever.
It's a video of them watching a screen. Yep.
And they'll just podcast for like 3 to 4 hours talking about the fights going on. And it's cool.
That's actually something that I would like to do.
Yeah.
In the future, once we kind of get this place built for that.
Yep.
Because I think that is like interesting to see people's reaction. I know that Barstool does it a lot. They call it the electric chair.
Okay. I've never seen that segment from them.
Well, so like they just go live on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And Dave and Big Cat and all the guys that are like the big whatever. Like a lot of times when Michigan's playing, because Dave's a Michigan guy or Big Cat's a Wisconsin guy, whenever their teams are playing, they sit them down in a leather chair. They call it the electric chair.
Oh, I've seen that. Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
And they usually bet on all the games, and so they're just like going wild, and you know, they're jumping up and down and swearing and collapsing to the ground, and so yeah, we'll get to that point at some point.
That'll be fun. You had mentioned your brother. I think your brother would be good at something like that.
Yeah, he's
just
such a hardo
kick him
about March
back and
Madness.
just analyzing the game, like hardo status.
For sure. Well, I think Gonzaga will beat Duke. So
beat Duke in the ship.
Well, no, Duke isn't making out of the Elite Eight.
True.
So I have no basis for that, but it's just my intuition tells me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's cold.
Wow.
That was enthusiastic. I'm out of the hood, Ryan.
You're feeling better.
I took off my hood. I'm feeling a little better. There's nothing that a nice bush latte can't cure.
Boosh.
A little Monday blues.
Yep.
Just
St. Patty's Day blues.
take the edge off. So we talked about in the intro about flooding, right? 2009, we had a bad flood, and we were really unprepared. It was scramble mode.
Yep.
We since then our area has definitely done a lot to improve it. And what I really hate is when people do lose homes and all that kind of stuff. And what I will have to say though, I feel like we are really lucky because that doesn't happen very often. Whereas like if you live on the coast, if you live in Florida, you live in the Gulf, it's hurricanes every year.
It's a common theme, yeah. It's
Yeah,
nothing that shocks anyone.
Earthquakes. We don't have earthquakes.
Nope.
I feel like we used to get more tornadoes or like more tornado warnings and stuff, but I feel like it's been a while. I don't know.
There'll be the occasion one like you're out at the lake and it's like the wind's howling in the morning and then a tornado warning. The buzzer will go on the TV.
That cold front hits.
Oh, I hate that.
It's the
but
worst.
honestly, I'd rather be cooped up at the lake during a tornado.
Yeah,
than,
it is like a weird psychological thing.
Yeah, it really is.
If you're at home, it's like whatever, but if you're at the lake, like everyone's like, get in here. Like, let's sit around and play a board game together or something.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know why. I totally know what you're saying for sure.
Yep.
Now, obviously flooding is a no good situation. It sucks. People do lose homes, but to shed a little bit of light, because that's what we do.
Yep.
On situations that suck, I feel like someone needs to talk about some of the funny stuff that might happen during those stuff. So in no way, shape, or form are we saying that flooding is funny or whatever, but there are some funny things about flooding. Now, what I would say, so like we always get into different types of people that we see in situations, but when you do have to sandbag for a flood, there are some interesting personalities that show up when you're sandbagging. You're laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I kind of believe that everyone has their normal personality. They have their normal self, their day-to-day person. And then everyone has their
sandbagging self.
their flooding, sandbagging self. And everyone takes a role, right? It's like all of a sudden, everyone in a community becomes a part of like this military operation.
Like a militia, like the Minutemen back in the wars.
So like all of the stay-at-home moms or just the moms in general are like, we're going to whip open our garage door and we're going to put up some card tables and I'm going to be making special K-bars. I'm going to have barbecues.
Yep.
I'm going to have chips sitting out. Oh, just come take it. It's free food. This is our contribution.
Yep.
And then you have like the hardo males and they're like out there in the front of the lines, just tossing sandbags. And then you also have like the person in the neighborhood who has like the big equipment, right?
Yep.
They got the,
they have everything.
the skid steers,
Yep. The spade shovels, like the nicest ones.
They probably own a construction company or something. My dad was that guy because we had skid steers and he owns a concrete construction business. Yeah, it's just interesting because you take a role in this like little militia against the flood, which I think is kind of funny. There's always the guy who is way too over the top about laying the sandbags down. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Oh yeah.
They're like barking at like kids who are just like out there to just try and help, and they're like, we got to put this here and there, and it's like, let's calm down, buddy. Let's take a step back. Remember that we do have some time here, and that's why we're doing this right now. But let's have a little bit of fun.
Yep.
I don't know.
More of a community bonding type of situation than like the guy that you described.
Yeah, his intentions are always
Now,
so good.
is that guy does he kind of become the foreman of the group? Because there's always that one guy that just takes the lead. And
Well, so what I would say, there's the guy who tries to take the lead, and then there's the guy that everyone turns to.
sure, yep,
You know, it's just like
yeah.
this is his basic human nature. There's going to be one person that no one even has to claim them the leader. They just, so what do you think we should do?
yep.
It just happens.
It's like a stigma that they give off.
Yeah, and I think it just stems
They-
back to the root nature that we are just like animals, and the leader of the pack always just goes out in front, and the
Right.
people follow him. Yeah, we got our neighbor. Sorry, I'm pausing again because we got our neighbors playing.
We should go over
Are they
there
playing
after this.
Queen over there?
I don't know.
They're bumping music over there. So the third installment of what are the neighbors doing? I think they're working on their trucks over there. That's what we're going to conclude with.
Yep,
But
yeah, we'll leave it at that.
yeah, but back to what we were talking about. I would say that the hardo that's like barking orders and trying to like show how much he knows about sandbagging is not usually the guy that everyone turns to when
No.
something happens.
No. Because it's like there's always the guy who thinks he has all the right answers.
Oh yeah.
But the guy that like tries to show that off and like tell people that he has all the right answers is
It's
probably
usually-
not the guy that has all the right answers.
Well,
right?
it's usually an overcompensation of some sort.
Yep.
Now another person that I just realized that we have in the sandbagging flooding group is the person who shows up because they know they need to show up. But then after not too long, they do the
Disappear.
I gotta go use the restroom quick. You don't see them the rest of the day.
But you do see him go through the food line.
Yeah, well, they're usually sitting by the food line.
Yep. Hey, you guys need help over there?
I remember
You guys look like you got it covered.
there also is the like. So when I was in high school, we had to do some sandbagging, and because I was like in sports and would work out and stuff like that, the expectation for those kids are so much higher than like the kids who just play video games all day.
Yeah.
Like if you like want to go like get a snack, the lead guy who's barking orders like gives you like one of the looks like, really? We need you out here, man. Like, dude, my legs hurt, my arms hurt. I need to go get a
need some
snack.
food.
Yeah. So I would say that's definitely another person is like the young kid who is really athletic or whatever, and like they're just expected to just do everything.
Yep.
Which kind of sucks, but
Yeah, what I like is I like that people, they throw
oh
on
my
their
god, I just spilled all over my sweatshirt. This has been
You're rusty.
this Monday is the worst. I'm struggling.
Well, and you have the podcast with me, so
Yeah, I mean, that's not helping.
So, what I like the most is, again, the camaraderie of the community, but everyone just throws on that one pair of jeans and that one button up or zip up coat or whatever.
Old sweatshirt.
Yep. They throw the rain boots on or the waterproof boots and they're just getting after it.
Mhm.
They're trudging through the water. They're getting muddy. It doesn't matter, so everyone's kind of all on the same page, I feel like.
Well, and what I like too about it, to segue away from like the funnier stuff, is what I do like about it is, let's say you're in a neighborhood that's not in danger of flooding. You go to your buddy's place, you go to your friend's house that is in danger of flooding, and you help them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those things where I remember we just like our buddies that were in danger of flooding, we just kept hopping from neighborhood to neighborhood to try and get their dikes built.
Yeah, you probably got school off for the day.
Oh, that's another person too, is the person who makes dike jokes the whole day. The whole day. It's usually like they're like show up and they're like, hey, we're from the company, we do dikes. And then they're like, ah, ha, ha. And then like it's just constant of dike joke after dike joke after dike joke.
It is funny right away.
Oh, yeah.
But then it just gets old, man.
Well, it's one of those jokes that like it's funny. Absolutely not funny. After a while, you get so annoyed.
Yeah.
But then you just keep doing it, and then eventually it becomes funny again. Yeah.
It's persistence, is what it is.
Now, I will have to say, have you ever, after a day of throwing sandbags, gotten an opportunity to go sit in a hot tub?
No.
That might be one of the best, because like the weather's always a little, it's not like super cold, but it's just like dreary and it's like cold out and your body hurts and you just go sit in that hot tub, and that is one of the best feelings ever.
Yep.
I almost think that like if you sell hot tubs and stuff, you should market really hard during the flood to let people know they need to buy a hot tub because it feels that good.
It's rewarding too,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Yeah, it's been a while since we've had to do that. I feel like the river today was just set to crest on like in mid-April at like 41 feet. It's like 1 foot above our last flood back in 2009. And 2009 was rough. You know, that's the last time I sandbagged
really
was 09.
unprepared though.
Yep.
We're a lot more prepared, a lot more ahead of the game
Regardless, there's going to be sandbagging going on.
somewhere.
I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna get after it. I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. I enjoy helping other people with that kind of stuff. Fortunately, my house is not in the floodplain, so I think I'm
Gotta
probably
go find someone who is.
I'll just be that guy bouncing around, taking orders from that guy that's barking.
The lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll probably show up somewhere with a 30 rack, a nice bushel.
Yeah.
Bushel high, saying what's up, guys. I'll be that
People
guy.
would appreciate that though.
Yeah.
Here's
It
a
is also nice, an ice cold beer after.
yeah. Ice cold beer and hot tub. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's a question. It's been so long since we've had to do that. What do they do with all the sand and sandbags when the flooding subsides?
Well, they can't use it for much because it's considered like contaminated or whatever, right? If it's exposed to the water. So I don't know what they do.
If you know what they do with the sand
You gotta let us know.
after sandbagging, drop in the comments.
Drop in the comments. Let us know. Yeah, I really hope it doesn't come to having really bad flooding, obviously, because it's a terrible thing. And I know that people are already kind of suffering from it in Nebraska and Iowa on the borderline. But yeah, I like I said, if you can find a little bit of humor or something in a bad situation, I think that can help. So if you're out there sandbagging at all, be looking for those personality types and let us know if you are one of them or you got a brother who's one of them or your dad or whatever. So this You Betcha Radio podcast was brought to you by our friends at the Bev Buckle. Bev Buckle is a belt buckle that is the world's first retractable drink holder, and you can find them at bevbuckle.com. That's BEVBUCKLE.com. And you can get 15% off of your order by using promo code YouBetcha with no space, YOUBETCHA at bevbuckle.com using promo code YouBetcha for 15% off.
Guys, thanks again for tuning in to episode 11 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. We talked a little bit about my trip to Canada. We talked a little bit about March Madness. And we talked a little bit about the flooding that's going on in the Midwest and the people that come with that. So what I want you to do now, I want you to go follow us on social media. That's at OUBetcha, at OHH, You Betcha, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Go check it out. We also have at Ryan the T-shirt guy, myself, at moms.hotdish, the official Midwestern meme page for You Betcha, and at Ranch Wrangler. We're trying to wrangle up the best ranch in the Midwest, and we're getting one step closer to that every week with the new episodes coming out.
You crushed it again, Ryan.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I am Ryan the T-shirt guy.
Well, now he ruined it.
Well, I had to finish it up.
It was going super well until he tried to do that. At least you didn't say, "We are hot, baby," like you did.
I forgot to bring that back. We are hot, baby.
That's what you need to do at the beginning of every podcast and make everyone do their, like, right at the beginning of the podcast cringe.
Okay, I'll do that next
The
time.
first podcast cringe
We'll have
of
to
the
do
day.
it at the end so that people don't tune out.
So yeah, because I'm always talking about stuff being cold, and you're always talking about stuff being hot. It's the
I'm a
fire
heat
and
press
ice
type of guy.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Podcast went great. I'm Miles, you betcha guy. May your ranch always be runny. May your bush lattes forever be cold. Did I switch that around this time? Doesn't matter. Thanks for listening to the coldest podcast in all the Midwest. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you subscribe to us. Make sure you throw us a like, throw us a share, whatever. Cheers. Oh my God, that's cold. Oh, wow. Last time I forgot to do this.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.